Alright, sorry about that. A bit of a technical malfunction. Fucking crash, unfortunately. And there's that back. And I need screen 2. Yeah. Actually, I'll screen 1. And put that back up. Alright, go back to the tutorial I was watching.
Back over here, you'll see into the water content. And come on.
Oh, why didn't that capture correctly?
Come on. There you are. All right, so you'll see here there's actually a category for waves. So we've got...
Let's go to the page, fuck it.
So we've got Gerstner waves for lake and for ocean. You can go ahead and create a new wave type if you wish. I've already done that. We've got mic waves. Let's drop some mic waves into the world. Now, mic waves are a little idiotic because I put the wave amount way too high. But you've got control over individual things. Let me just undock that so you can see this in action. So you've got control over the number of waves, the random seed behind it, the randomness between waves. I have right now this set, I think, way too high, and that's causing the mass rolling you're seeing in the background. All right, so yeah, so we don't have these massive rolling, stupid-sized waves going here. But you see here, you've got control over the general direction of the waves, the spread of the direction, the steepness of waves. So there you see we got some pretty solid ripple going on there. We can obviously turn that down to be a little bit less insane. So there it is. You've got fine-tuned control over your waves. You've also got a couple different algorithms for handling how waves are actually done. So if I went back here and showcased, here, let's drop back to the lake waves, the normal ones that aren't screwed around with. Come on. Go into that guy. You'll see here you've got different options available to you. Okay, I can't find them now. Where did you go? Doesn't really matter. You've got a couple different generation options for waves. Might have only been on the ocean waves. That might be why I'm not seeing it here. You'll notice we're getting a little bit of clipping problems as we go here too. Now the other thing that we've got in this guy that works, so you've got the ocean, the giant one. We've got the lakes that we're seeing here, and then the other one, and like I said, currently the transition between a lake and a river are currently bugged, but we also have rivers. Rivers are pretty straightforward as well. Let's just kind of move things up here, and I'll just go ahead back to my sculpting mode. All right, there we go. Let's sculpt that, and there we go. So there is the end of our lake as defined by our spline, and here we're heading off into the wild. So that's why we're not getting water as we move down here. But now in this space, what I'm going to do is go on back here to place actors, go back here to select mode, go back here to water, and what we want now is a river. So we've got over here, body river, drop a river into a scene. And then once again, it is controlled by spline control points, and you basically set where the river is going to go. Again, I do believe that right now the transition between a lake, like so, and a river is not effective right now, but you will see immediately river waves, and then as we move up, lake waves, and then into the river waves, you should have a different speed, a different distance, a different behavior. And then the river itself has a variety of different controls here. It's got a different water material applied to it. They've got a number of pre-made materials for you. So there, for example, is the material for a river. We've got, if you go back over here to the material stuff, you will find we got water material, lake, ocean, river, etc. already defined for us. You can obviously go in and tweak them to your heart's content. But again, I am finding some of these things are currently quite broken. So for example, the stuff here, I don't think buoyancy actually worked for me. The fluid simulation stuff, it didn't work for me. We're not getting foam at the edge of the river, which should be working and in place. So it is an initial release, and there is going to be some stuff coming soon. But you can see already there's some pretty cool functionality going on here. Again, rivers controlled by splines kind of follow their path, and you can see the bounding rec shows where a river goes. So now we don't have a river coming through here, but what I could do, once again, is come back here into sculpt mode, and then if I follow where I drew the river, you can see we get river where there is river, but if I go over here, outside of where it's marked, no river. All right, so that's basically it. We got lakes, which are big, kind of but defined bodies of water. We got rivers, obviously you can see more of a spline path controlled. And then we got oceans, which for some reason I can't get to work right, which are large shores. And then there should be a lot of things here that should be working better. The shorelines, the transition between the two water types and so on. But you do have a lot of control over this system. And one thing I have noticed though that you can't do here, that other fluid systems that I've used in the past can, and again, this may be down to me, there is like literally zero document. Oh, I gotta get out of my sculpting mode. There's like literally zero documentation on this guy. All there is that one screencast from 2 weeks ago that showcased a version that didn't work. There's no written documentation as of yet, but what I have found is I can't make my river go downhill. So if I add verticality to my river, and then I go back here into sculpt mode, and I add verticality, oops, wrong way. If I add verticality into my map, like so, I don't get a waterfall like I would have expected. So I don't know, again, if this is my usability that's wrong here, but I would have expected the river to follow vertically, but it doesn't seem to. Basically, you set a minimum height, and anything below that is a river, which is kind of funny because we can actually just keep going down. I can just make this the Marianas Trench if I want, just keep kind of drilling down, making it deeper and deeper and deeper, and this river will just keep going. So basically, this is all underwater. So that the lack of a Z order on the river stuff seems a little weird. Now, I can understand why you would have an ocean and a lake be relatively flat because, well, frankly, that's kind of how they work. But rivers go up and down vertical surfaces, and it doesn't seem like that is supported as of yet. But really, there's some really interesting stuff going on here. It works, again, with the stuff you've got going on. So here we see a mesh in the scene, this guy right here, and as it moves around, it's interacting with the water systems in place. So hopefully we can see those other things get fixed soon. But if you do check out what they did in that full 2-hour-long demonstration of the water systems, it can do a heck of a lot. So I'd be interested to see once some documentation comes online for this so I can formally see how to set everything up and go. But
Yeah,
it is definitely an
hope they had
interesting
some today,
first
but-
start. Now, it is not ready for prime time, but then again, this is, as you can see, but this
I need
here
to
is
look a bit
tagged as
harder.
an experimental system, so you can't really expect much more than that. But anyways, that is the new water system built into the Unreal game engine. What do you think?
Okay, so it looks like I'm actually doing everything correct. That's bizarre. I need to find out why that's happening, but other than that. So the foam part. Do that. Ah, here we go. Alright, let's save that. You see more of what's in here fall off. Increase the number of waves to 32. It's definitely a lot choppier. I need to decrease the height. have to be super fucking rough. That looks way better. Yeah, the amplitude was way too high. I can maybe cut that. A little high. Let's go back to like 6 maybe. Five. Okay, I think 4 was good. 20. Change that to 15 maybe. Interesting. Actually does look pretty good. I might change that a bit. Reduce the amplitude a bit. Reduce that back to 32. I need to get the foam working though. Underwater post-process setting. Yeah, alright. That looks good, alright. Overlap now. What's this? Oh yeah, this is how you, yeah. Alright, so if I was making a lake, I think I'd have to change its elevation float curve so that it would actually be at the correct height. Yeah. Because this one goes below. And it'll go, yeah, basically to here, which is negative 1,000, I guess. Yeah. And then once it gets to here, it cuts off. Okay, interesting. Good to know. I forgot about that too, but now I remember it again. Invert shape. No. I don't even know how you'd use that. Yeah, that ocean looks really nice. We still got this weird artifact, but eh. Oh. Yeah. So I go back and search for the water stuff again. It was the ocean, water body, river, brush manager, landscape, brush, mesh actor. I think it's in the other tools. Island, ocean, river, brush, landscape. Okay, it's not in there. Okay, well. I'm gonna see if I can find the documentation on this. Let's see. Well, I just had to go to this, and what do you know? Oh wow, that looks amazing. Yeah. stuff. I don't need to see that, but oh, no, no. Let's take a look at its material. Oh, general foam. Here we go. Foam attachment enabled. Roughness. Let's try that. Must be green foam, caustic, whatever the hell it is. Right. Okay. So terrain. Yeah, clearly the collision is not working how it should be, because it's just clipping through this map. Right now, at least. But yeah, check out that video. They showed the water tool again. Yeah, here it is.
Hello guys, Smart Pauly here. Welcome back to another video. So a couple of days ago, Epic released the 4.26 Preview 1 available for download, and they also showed off the new 4.26 water system in a live stream, and they also mentioned when they would release 4.26 with the water. But before we get into that, I just want to thank Ryan Brooks and the team over there at Epic for some of the amazing work that they've done on the water system that they're bringing here in 4.26. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get right into it. So first of all, how it works is it's a plugin that you just enable. There's the water system plugin and the landmass plugin. Once you have those two plugins enabled in your project, you'll just be able to drag in the different water actors that.
Damn, maybe that's why it's not working. I don't have the landmass enabled. Oh, it is enabled. Okay, never mind. Good. Okay. Never mind. Continue.
That they have, for example, the ocean, island, river, and lake. Now, it is important to mention that this is all built upon their new non-destructible landscape layer system. I think they added it back in 4.24. Now, how this works is you just create a dedicated layer for water bodies, and you can just add those in, and it works dynamically with the landscape. So for example, the rivers will carve out a part of the landscape, much like the landscape layer spline. In their video, they showed a lot of this, just some of the.
Hold on, so in my landscape, I might not have a layer created for that. Yeah, let's take a look at this a bit closer. Landscape 9. Into landscape main. Let's take a look. I don't think anything in there has to do with it, but like that, really, for that matter. I'm gonna put this back down here, I think. I'm sorry, back and keep walking.
The tools that you can use to kind of manipulate the landscape terrain while moving the water bodies around. Now they did show off all the different water bodies that they have, such as the oceans, the lakes, and the rivers. Now I'm not entirely sure they're going to be including a water shader, but I think it's pretty safe to assume that they'll include the one at least that they showed here in the live stream, because he did mention that he's going to include that demonstration project for download. We can all expect that the water system will come with this nice water shader that they showed off in the live stream. Some of the additional things that they showed were the water interaction. You can see here some of the ripple effects and splashes, just some really neat interaction here with the water, and it will be really interesting to see this be implemented into a lot of games and a lot of projects. If you're going to set up some sort of boat actor and you want it to interact dynamically with your water to give it a more realistic feel. Probably my favorite part of the live stream was when he showed off the Gerstner waves that we saw a little bit of a teaser a couple months ago, and all I can say is that it looks absolutely impressive.
Okay, I don't need a recap. I actually want to watch the real fucking video, so... Yeah, it was this one.
There we go. So that's what I was mentioning before. We kind of use the velocity to know or not.
Everything Unreal. I'm your host, Victor Broden, and my guest today is our principal technical artist, Ryan Brooks. Welcome to the show.
Hey, everybody. So today we wanted to take this opportunity to go ahead and talk about some of the upcoming water features that we've all been working on for Unreal Engine 426. So this is something that we've been working on for a while now. And you know, we've kind of needed a water solution in Unreal for a number of years. But with Fortnite Chapter 2, that was a good opportunity for us to kind of push on water. So what we did is we formed kind of a strike team with a bunch of people from different initiatives or different teams, a couple people from rendering, a couple people from tools, a couple people from gameplay, me from tech art, along with some help from a few other individuals. And then what we did is we made the water system for Fortnite Chapter 2.
Be back in 5 minutes. I already did dinner yet either, so... Alright, so during the break I decided to do a bit of thinking about this, and I think I'm going to watch a tutorial hopefully on how to implement some of this stuff, and we'll see how that goes. I kind of feel like this, I hope this is an actual tutorial, not the video I just watched. Anyway.
Hello guys, Smart Polly here. Welcome back to another tutorial. So today we're going to be checking out the new 4.26 water, or the new water system that's upcoming here for Unreal Engine version 4.26. And we're going to be checking out all the different features, such as how to deform your landscape with the rivers and the splines, as well as how to add the ocean water to your scene, and how to customize it and all that stuff. To get started, what I have here is Unreal Engine 4.26 Preview 6. We can go ahead and launch this and create a brand new project. And so what you want to do is go ahead and just create a brand new third-person project, whatever project you have. I'm just going to name this Water Tutorial. So right out of the box, what you want to do is you want to go ahead and enable the water plugin and the landmass plugin. So go ahead and go to edit.
Just before I go any further, you know, I'm gonna subscribe to Smart Polly. Seems like he's a smart guy who knows what he's doing.
Plugins, and over here we're going to go to all. Go ahead and search water. I'm gonna enable this full suite of water tools. The first one right here, water. Then we're going to search for landmass and going to enable that as well. So then we can go ahead and just restart the project. So once you've gone ahead and restarted the project, the number one thing you're going to notice that's different here is if you search water, you're going to see all these water bodies. To go ahead and showcase all those, we're going to go ahead and create a brand new level. So go to new level, default. What we want to go ahead and do is create a new landscape. So go to landscape. Before you click create, you want to click this little check mark right here, enable edit layers. This is important because the water system builds upon the new landscape layer system. So you want to make sure you click that checkbox. Okay, click create. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and delete the player starts, spear capsule, and then set my lighting to movable. And the skylight to movable. So what we have here, if you search water, is we have water body custom, island, lake, ocean, river. What we're going to go ahead and do is just drag the water body ocean. And now if you're doing this for the first time, you're going to have to compile shaders. It's like some 4,000 shaders or something, because all of this stuff is in the engine content. Alright, so we've created the water. Now your water might not look exactly the same as mine because I've gone ahead and customized the engine settings, but as you can see here, the landscape, it was a square, but now you can see the water is shaping the island here. How this works is you got your little spline here. You can see the different spline points, so you can take these shapes, and if you wanted to move it around to give a shape of your island or of your landscape, you can do that. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it as that. So if I go ahead and zoom up here, I can give you a better view of how it looks.
I might have to re-add this somehow.
So it's pretty nice. I've customized the settings a little bit, so I'll show you guys that here in a second. But as you should get it, it should be a little bit more calmer than that, and I'll go ahead and show you how to change those settings. So if you see here, we have the water body ocean selected. In the details panel here, we're going to go ahead and scroll down. You're going to see the waves source. So if you hit this little down arrow in waves asset, you're going to see the Gerstner waves _ ocean. This is how you're going to set all of the wave height and length settings. If you hit that little magnifying glass, it's going to find it in the content browser. And this is actually in the engine content right here. So if I go ahead and open up this Gerstner waves ocean, you see here water source Gerstner waves and waves Gerstner wave generator. So here are all of our settings. If I can scroll this down like that. So this is all of the settings that control our water here in our scene. If you could recall correctly from the demo that they talked about,
I did this.
16 Gerstner waves to get more of a realistic simulation. I believe there was 6 Gerstner waves in Fortnite and then 2 in Fortnite mobile. To give you a good idea, this is how many waves you'd have in mobile, Fortnite, and then realistic. So you have the seed. It's kind of like the randomness. And then you have randomness, so we can change it around. You can get different wave directions, all that stuff. Okay, and min and max wavelength is kind of like the size of the waves. So you can play around with those. You can also change the wavelength fall off, so this will blend the two together. So you can see you want more smaller waves, or if you want larger waves. Okay, then we have the min amplitude and max amplitude. So this is like those little peaks in the water, if you can see them. You can make them either more sharp or more smooth. So we go back here, min amplitude. See, it's a little bit more smooth. You can really change the amplitude fall off here. You're gonna see the results quite fast.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so the higher it is, the more smooth those peaks are. But the lower it is, you're gonna get more sharper peaks. Okay, so I'll just leave this at 2. Then we have the wind angle. So the direction, I believe, of the waves. Yeah, I'm not too sure about these two. They don't really look like it does anything visibly different. And then we have the steepness. So again, this kind of has to do with the peaks here. You don't really change this too much because you'll see here in a second. So if we change, yeah, small waves, you can see stuff starts to fall out. So you don't want to go more than 1 because you can see here there's a little bit of tearing in the waves. So yeah, so those are pretty much all the basic settings there for your water, or for your waves. So you can see you can pretty easily customize your waves here to your liking. Now these aren't all the settings here for the water. We also can adjust the material, which gives us some more additional, a little bit of more wave settings, as well as just look. If I can zoom in here, you can see there's a bit of like these little smaller waves. We can all adjust that in this material. So if you go to the water material ocean and you just hit that magnifying glass, go ahead and open it up. So this isn't the master material, this is just an instance. So if you don't want to actually play around with your water ocean material, you can duplicate this and mess around with that if you don't want to mess it up or anything. So we're going to go ahead and move this around like this. Alright, so I'm going to point out a couple of the important values here. So as you can see here, we have different groups. So we have the detail normal settings, all the parameters to deal with the fluid simulation, and then down here we have the foam global parameters, foam boosts, bubble detail, and then down at the bottom we have the color of the ocean, as well as some of the roughness and specular. These ones down here and these ones at the top are the ones that you're going to mainly be focusing on. unless you're going to be doing fluid simulation, but right now I couldn't really figure out the fluid simulation, or at least last time I checked it, it was kind of broken. So let's go ahead and mess around with the distant water speed. So if you play around with the value here, you can see the speed of the distant water is really fast. That's because if we get closer here, you can see this is a close-up.
Pause this for a moment. I think what I'm going to do here is re-add the ocean, because this one was added in before it was editable, and I think I need to re-add it. Let's try that. Body ocean. I don't even think that made any fucking difference. I'm just gonna go back to the original one and continue watching what he was doing.
Water, and this is the distance water. So if we change that back to normal, it's going to match the same exact speed as the close-up. Then we have distant normal strength. This is the normals in the distance. So 0. You can see there's really no normals on the water. It looks really smooth, which kind of looks nice actually. Or you can crank it up to 1. You can see there's lots of normals in the distance water, which doesn't really look the best. So definitely have it less than 1, because it's going to be aliasing like that. You can see those lines really clear out in the distance, and you don't really want that. And then we have here default distant normal strength. So the strength of normal, kind of the same thing. You can see that. Maybe we can take this down. This isn't too bad. Like,
he looks like he's using a different.
So if you want smooth waves, you can keep that down.
Change the color somehow.
But if you want to increase it up so you have a little bit more detail on the waves out in the distance, you can do that. Okay, default distant water scale. So this is a scale of the distant water. We can scale it up so it's much larger. We can scale it down. Then we have the near normal strength. So this is what I was talking about earlier with the normal strength and this really fine detail up close. So if I crank that up, you're going to see more detail here. Kind of makes it look more realistic.
Okay, I'm going to try that out. That looks pretty neat. So I'm going to find the material again. Ocean. So, you know, if you're going to be doing things like this, you should always kind of make a duplicate of it. And use that instead. So he was editing the, what was it, let me take a look here. Default near normal strength. And he changed it to about 0.6. Do that, save it, and yeah. Change that to 4. A little lower, but yeah. Again, I'll mess around more with this later, but that's good to know at least. Enable that, enabled. And distance is fine. Oh, it still looks good. Alright. Resume.
So if we get away, you're not going to see it, but it's mainly for near strength. So you can crank this down to 0 if you want it to be nice and smooth up close. Alright, and then we have default near water scale. So these little ripples and stuff, or the near scale, you can crank this up. So as a larger scale, and crank it down so you got these little ripples or whatever. Honestly, it kind of looked good scaled up. This is normal length, so this is going to...
I'm going to try that with the near scale as well, actually. Instead. You need 1,000. One moment.
Control how far the distant waves are going to go. You want to keep this not too high because, again, of the aliasing. If you have waves too far out, it's going to look really pixelated. Let's see, distant, normal, offset. So kind of the same thing. And it actually doesn't look super bad this way. Looks more realistic, actually. Obviously, I need to play with the wave settings here a bit, but it doesn't look too bad, honestly. This is normal. Go ahead and set that back if we wanted to. Or we'll play with that later. Okay, so fluid simulation again. I haven't tested it out yet. As far as I know, it wasn't working. They might have patched it here in one of the preview updates, but down here we have some global scalar parameter values. So anisotropy, we can go ahead and take this. You can see it kind of changes a little bit, the material here. Generally, you don't really have to play with this. Just leave it, I think, at 0.9. If you really want to adjust the material, you can come down here to the bottom. So up here we have bubble detail. So if we get close up in here, you can see here we can crank up the detail of the foam. Now obviously we're gonna have to nerf how far the foam actually goes out, you know, because this is like the Fortnite water detail, but obviously we can crank that up. Oh, that's a little bit too much there, but it kind of looks cool.
Alright, okay. Interesting. So... think I have to. Okay, so I think what's going on here is I'm gonna have to make a new level and import this into it, and then yeah, do something like that. Anyway, I'm getting tired and need to eat something, so I'm gonna take a break and maybe come back later or tomorrow. But anyway, have a good night.